lesson with equations is when we have the variable on both sides. What I mean by that is when we have our line down through the equal sign, instead of y's being on the same side together, we have a y on the left side and a y on the right side. Over here we have an m on the left side and we also have an m on the right side. That makes the rules a little bit different. Usually what we would do on the last few lessons is we would combine the y's on the same side. The problem is, we can't just put them together because they're on opposite sides of the equal sign. That means we have to get rid of one. So just like our song says, different signs subtract, same rule applies when they're on different sides. So we could say different sides subtract. So I need to get rid of this 7, I need to get the 7y together with this 5y, okay? So normally what people would do to say, oh, let's get rid of the 7 is we would divide by 7. The problem is the y is still there and I still have a y over here. So I don't want to do that. I need to get rid of this whole term right here. So what's easier to get rid of, 7 or 15? I like to get rid of the smaller one because that means I don't have to deal with the negatives. So I'm going to get rid of this 7y. And if there's no sign in front, it's the same thing as having a positive. So to get rid of a positive 7y, I have to subtract 7y. But remember, what you do to one side, you have to do to the other. So if I'm going to have a negative 7y on the left side, I need to put negative 7y on the right side. So combining like terms, 7y's, taking away 7y's, means I have none of those y's left over. Right here, I still have a positive 16 on the right-hand side. I have my equal sign on the line, and 15y's minus 8y's means I have 8y's now on the right side. 15 minus 7, I get 8. Then, now the y's not over here. Is that okay? It doesn't matter. The y's right here. Then that's what I need to get by itself. So if 8 is touching the y, remember that means multiply. And to get rid of a multiply, I have to divide. The number that's touching the y is the 8. So that's what I'm going to divide on both sides. 16 divided by 8 is 2. Then on my line, I put my equals. Over here, the 8's cancel out, so I just get my 1y. So I can say 2 is equal to y. If it really freaks you out the way that looks, I can write that the other way and say, then y is equal to 2. That means exactly the same thing. The last example for all of the equations is like the big daddy of them all. It is everything that we have learned all put together in one huge problem. If you just take it step by step, it's actually pretty easy. There's no distributive properties, so I just have to figure out, are there terms that I can combine? Well, this 6m right here and this 3m are on the same side. So the biggest mistake I see people do is they add 3m's like this. The problem is, those are both on the left side. Remember, if you do something to the left side, you have to do it to the right side. So we don't do the inverse operation. When they're already on the same side, we can just combine them. So 6m's minus 3m's really just means I have 3m's on the left side. But don't forget, you still have that plus 5 equals, on the right side I have 2m plus 12. So now I still have m in more than one spot, so I have to put them together. Over here I was allowed to combine because they were already on the same side. But here they're on different sides. So remember, different side, I have to subtract. So what's easier to get rid of, 3 or 2? Well, since 2 is smaller, that's the one I want to get rid of. So if there's no sign in front, remember it's the same as a positive. To get rid of a positive 2m, I have to subtract 2m. But if I do that to the right side, I have to do it to the left side. And that negative 2m can't combine with 5. So I'm going to put it underneath that 3m because they're the like terms. So 3m's minus 2m's means I have 1m. Then I still have that plus 5. 2m minus 2m is nothing, but over here I still have 12. So this 1m right here I need to keep by itself because now the m is already alone on one side, except I have that plus 5 still with it. So how do I get rid of a plus 5? Well, remember inverse of addition is subtraction. So 5 minus 5 is really nothing, so I can cross that out. If I have 1m, remember 1m is the same thing as just saying m. And over here, 12